You are now listening to Nexxlegacy Radio, a radio station for the people.
Congratulations once again on that.
Thank you, man. 25 again, man. 25 again.
But how you doing, Brandon? I'm happy to be on this slower show. It's more of a kick-back, relax type thing. The first one was cool. I had fun. It was spicy this morning, but this is more of my thing.
I told you, we back. We back. That's the baby business right there.
Hey, but you know what, baby? You know, we can switch lanes in a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I think
right.
that's definitely
very important.
That's definitely important. Very important, especially when you in the media and the spotlight and all this other type of stuff, you know, you can be able to switch it up and do something big for these ladies, and you know, that's why we do it big every Tuesday night, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
No doubt. And you know what I'm saying, we do have Bobby Tinsley. I think I got Bob on deck right now. Bob, is that you, bro? From the 216?
No.
216.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, this is not Bobby Tinsley. It's Natalia.
Oh, Natalia, what's up, sweetheart? How you doing?
I'm all right.
That's what's good. I know you waiting on Bob to call in, too, huh?
Yeah, I'm just here to support him. I don't really know the other two people, but sorry. Happy birthday to the guy.
Hi.
Yeah.
And
now, if you looked at Real Chance of Love on VH1, you know what I'm saying? You gonna know, baby. She's definitely noticeable.
I don't even watch TV, to be honest.
Hey, I don't blame you, baby. I don't blame you. Don't blame me at all. You just kick back and relax and listen to, you know what I'm saying? Listen to Bobby Tinsley, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, you called on my show before, right? You called, you know what I'm saying, when we had Bob, like, I knew it.
Just a different number.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you hanging out with us tonight. And like I said, people, we're gonna make sure we start up conversations right, you know what I'm saying? And as a dude, I definitely gotta say, you know, domestic violence is something I was never, ever, ever a part of. I've seen, you know what I'm saying, you know, family and friends and all that other shit, but, you know what I'm saying, I think, you know, anytime at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it don't matter what, I just feel like, you know, a man should never put his hands on a woman, period, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. As a guy,
Who made this topic?
Huh?
Who made this topic of domestic?
Made the topic? Oh, it's between me and Bobby and the staff. We wanted to make sure we bring it out here, especially on Ladies' Night, and make sure that, you know, the ladies and the fellas is aware of, you know, stuff like this, because, you know what I'm saying, I think it's important that people need to bring it to the forefront because it happens every day, and I feel like, you know, as women, you know, you guys need all the help that you can get, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, physically there may be some women that, you know, that cannot hold their own to a guy. So I feel like, you know, as a man and you as a woman, it's kind of like, you know, we need to hold you guys down, and we need to make sure that, you know, you guys do have some support and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, anything like this is important. It's definitely something that needs to be brought to the forefront, because, you know, it's always being swept under the rug, or you might have a situation where you had a woman that, you know, will actually, you know, want to still stand by their man even though they shouldn't. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot what I was just going to say. No, I think it's an important topic and all that, but I was just wondering who picked it, that's all.
Oh yeah, we go hard with the information and all that stuff on Tuesday nights, because we also spotlight breast cancer awareness and stuff like that too, and you know, we always do stuff like that, and we celebrate women in general, because, you know, I feel like, you know, as a man, you know what I'm saying, we need to make sure that we do appreciate, you know, the women in our circle and in our lives, and the people that's influential, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah. And we're here tonight, you know what I'm saying, we kicking it, we got everybody here. Natalia's in the house, Big Rich, Bay, Real Chance of Love, and I'm about to mic up Bob in just a quick second, but I actually want to make sure I take some time and, you know, make sure I appreciate the people sending emails and the fact that people actually is, you know, showing their respect to the whole topic and the whole conversation, and everybody feeling Bobby Tinsley's music And baby, was that the first time you heard Bob's music, like earlier before? Did you hear his music before, baby?
Yes, it was, and I was very moved. So I'm all for it. I'm all about it.
That's a good deal. That's definitely a good deal.
Yeah, that was a beautiful
Brandon.
song, man. Beautiful song.
What's up, baby? What's up,
Brandon,
baby?
my phone battery is about to die. I'm going to call you from another number. It's going to be a 209 number, okay?
Okay. I'm right here, baby.
Okay.
All right. And but Rich, I mean, actually, before I actually get into your conversation, Rich, let me go ahead and say what's up to Bobby Tinsley. Bobby Tinsley in the house tonight on VMR. Bob, what's up, man?
What's up, Brandon? What's up, everybody?
What's up, Bob?
Y'all got me? Y'all can hear me well?
I can hear you well, sir.
Man, gotta love phone issues. Phone issues.
You good to go, Bob? You good to go, man? How's everything going
good
with you?
deal. Man, everything's going great. Really, really well. I'm down here in the 813 in my hometown, Tampa, Florida. And it's a great night, and I'm excited to be on the show and to just be talking about a subject that I'm very, very passionate about. So I've been excited all day.
Now, as I kicked off the show, and I kind of felt like, it's definitely a topic as we celebrate ladies night, you know what I'm saying, every Tuesday night, with situations like this and stuff like that, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, I already know the answer, but, for these listeners, when you hear about different situations from women, being abused and stuff like that or whatnot, how do you feel? Does it affect you like it affect me and every other sensitive dude? It just cuts you to the core to hear that there's so much violence going on with women and men in relationships too,
Well, yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, it cuts me to the core. I mean, I'm very, very passionate about domestic violence. One of the things I wanted to, abuse, women being abused, I'm going to talk a little bit later about some of the reasons why I'm, like, really personally passionate about this subject, because I just have a lot of personal experience with some things that have happened in my lifetime that should have never happened. And so, I'll kind of get into that later. But yeah, I hear about women being abused, by men in their life and stuff. It makes you want to, like, do something, I mean, right away, it makes you want to go beat somebody down. Like, that's the first thing I think about. It's like, oh my gosh, just different people that I know that have had that happen to them, it just makes you so angry. But, you have to get past that anger because you don't want to react like the same thing that, that they're doing to the women. You don't want to become that. And so, my whole thing is, like, I really want to just, I want to raise awareness, and I just want to let people know, I want to help women to know that they don't have to be in relationships where they're being abused, because I think, so many times, girls get trapped. Women, young girls, teenagers, wherever they're at, they feel like, this guy really loves me, he really cares about me, so, I know he's got this problem, but, it's going to be okay. He'll get over it. And, the statistics and everything do not lie, and, 99.99% of the time he does not. And it's just like, I'm really passionate about helping women see their true worth and, know that they don't have to live like that. That there are people out there that are not going to treat them that way. So, real passionate subject for me.
I think overall, when it comes to, relationships and it just, I kind of said it earlier about, you may even have a situation or a relationship when, the woman, they can be abused and, they can go through years of it. They can pretty much just get used to it being that way and stuff like that. And, it doesn't really sit right with me, coming from a family that, is really, not really towards that. But I think, everybody's had situations, be it if it's family or friends, that you've seen it. But, it's one thing that, it always shakes me. It's just like, from women's points of view, it's like, how can you stay when you being inflicted so much physical pain like that? Not just physical, but emotional,
Yeah, and I mean, like, me growing up, in my house, watching my parents, my parents have had their problems like every other family, but my dad always showed my mom the utmost of respect. He never raised his hand to her. That was never even something that you even see. So I didn't, at a young age, I never even knew, what domestic violence was in that, type of a scenario. until, I had a lot of friends in my neighborhood that I would go over their houses and I would see stuff that would go on over there, and it was shocking to me. That was my first exposure to, wow, a guy could actually, beat his wife. And, that's just, it's just so sickening to me, because I'm like you, Brandon, I didn't see that. The people that are around weren't about that, so it's just like, it just does not sit right. Immediately, it's like, okay, that is really off. So,
yeah,
it's crazy.
And we here live tonight on Tuesday, Ladies Night with Bobby Tinsley, and I said I got a couple of ladies too. I got your girl Natalia is in the house as well.
What's up, Natalia? What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
And I also have my girl from Real Chance of Love, Bay is in the house too. So
Bay.
What's up, baby?
Hey, how's it going? I'm back online.
It's going well. Nice to have you on.
And since we got a couple of ladies in the house as well, like, I'm starting with Bay. Like, how's your whole, feelings about the whole situation when it comes to, stuff like this?
It really breaks my heart, being a very strong-minded woman and being so not from that, seeing it just kills me, because I think, how can a woman like you subject yourself to this emotional, physical, and spiritual abuse and not want to get away, especially when you have children that see this, and when they grow older, some of them mirror this image. It's to me, it's very, very sickening. It is something that needs to be, there's something that needs to be done, because it's happening so much more now than ever before, and it's being swept under the rug, and no one's really doing anything about it. So as the days go by and the years go by, our children are seeing this, and they're starting to think that this is okay, when it's so far from okay. And you start to think, what do we do?
Yeah.
It's real. Natalia, I know this is a conversation that kind of, you wasn't really expected to talk about it, but how do you feel about the whole, the whole thing? Because I know it cuts a lot of women to the core too, especially like what Bebe said. Is you got so many strong women, that's being subjected to, a lot of this, and it's just not happening just like in one centralized location. It's happening nationwide. It's crazy.
Right. I don't even think it's about being strong. I just think I did a report on it and stuff like that, and I don't really want to go all into detail about it because, but I just think that, let me try to word it right so I don't say too much. I just feel that you don't see it coming at all. Like, you totally ignore the warning signs, and then when it happens, you're so shocked because you really think that you're in love with that person. That's the person you're supposed to be with. But in reality, if somebody really loves you, are they really going to put their hands on you? It's just like, it's a lesson learned, period. That's how I feel about it. I'm kind of cold-hearted on it, but it hurts. I'm going to tell you that one. It hurts so bad because you really think you love that person, but in the end, emotional pain is worse to me. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff, but emotional pain is so much worse to me. But when you get the physical abuse part, it's like you're just so shocked that you don't think it's going to happen to you, but it does. It happens, and it's out there for real.
It's real.
That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. And, as far as the guys and their conversations, too, I got, of course, Big Rich, too, is in the house as well. And also I have V from Vegas is in the house as well. So, you guys go ahead and chime in, with y'all opinions and stuff like that, too, because, this is something that, needs to be curbed, not just because, you see it and it's to a point where, you got to be able to kind of figure out a way to stop all this shit, because it's going to get to a point where, somebody going to wind up being killed or dead or
well, it's the good thing about it, Brandon, and this is the honest to God truth, You know what I'm saying? Before Rodney King incident and before OJ, you know what I'm saying? OJ, it kind of like, it put a stop almost, you know, to a lot of stuff. Not saying that it don't go down, but it's like now, when somebody call the police and don't miss, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? It used to be the police used to just butt out. When they heard a domestic abuse case, they come out, they go back to the station. You know what I'm saying? But see, nowadays, things are different, man. It took an event like OJ in order to change that, you know, mentality, because, you know, women was viewed as almost as property. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know what I'm saying, the police wasn't getting, because, see, police never want to respond to those type of cases anyway, because it's too dangerous. A lot of emotion going on. Somebody will get shot or killed or stabbed or something, you know what I mean? So that's one of the good things that came out of the, you know, the OJ thing is that, you know, now women got some protection, you know, versus, you know, having none, you know. And women were just actually too scared to even call the police. You know, so now they got a little help. I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying? It put a dent. It probably put a little dent in it, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Bob, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think, especially with women in general, and, you know, since we do got women, I want y'all opinion on it too. Do you think in general, when you're dealing with a woman that's not mentally strong, you know, that basically kind of like enhances and if you a guy that's, you know, physically abusing a female, it's easier to actually break down the spirit of a mentally, you know, weak woman as opposed to a stronger woman.
Yeah. Oh, that's definite. That's a definite.
Yeah.
That's 100%. I mean, that's about 90% to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you're
weak-minded,
if you're weak-minded and anything goes, I mean, you're not going to say no. To what? He's going to hit you, and you're not going to say no. You're going to just, okay, what do I need to do to change this? What do I need to do for him not to hit me again? But if he hits you again, then I'm going to think about something else. You know, she doesn't know. Or she's playing, or she doesn't want to know, or she feels like there's nothing else for her. He is all I have. If I lose him, I have nothing else. Because a lot of women or a lot of people get in that mindset. And that's just real. I mean, I don't know how, but I mean, it happens.
Well, you know, it runs on the lines of true love. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not love, but these women catch themselves in situations where they love them to a degree that they don't want them to go to jail, because when the police come get them, most of the women just be like, you know what I'm saying, no, I'm not going to press charges. You know what I'm saying? Because they already know, you know, that they're going to have to go to court. You know, look at Whitney. Same thing. Whitney went to court with him after they got in a big fight, you know, and pleaded with the judge. But it's just, you know, you get up in that vicious cycle, and it's hard to get out because you got kids, you got your home, you got everything tied into, you know, each other. So it's like, you know, when you think about trying to leave, it's hard to leave.
Usually if they put in a situation where they can't leave, man, I mean, I'll tell women, man, all the time, man, be careful those that's trying to eliminate your loved ones around you, because that's step one. You know what I'm saying? If you don't pay attention to why he can't stand your mama, your daddy, your brothers, your best friend, none of them, that's the setup, man. He has to take away all your love lines before he can do shit like that to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's a problem when your daddy can't stand your boyfriend. It's a problem when your mama can't stand your boyfriend. It's a problem when your best friend can't stand your boyfriend. That's a warning sign that you better heed, because they the ones that see him, because they don't love him. They see him for what he really is. They not blinded by them love eyes. So you got to understand that that's how the game goes. That's how you manipulate any woman. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how you get her in a position where she needs you. You know what I'm saying? You get a girl in a situation where she needs you, and say you move out of town and she can't work. How she gonna move? How she gonna run away from you? He made sure that she burned all the bridges of everybody that might help you. It's a plan by design, man. And then you get stuck in that box, and it's hard to get out. You got a few kids. You want them kids to have a father. He wants a father.
I don't know. Maybe it's different for me because I'm not in that situation where I don't have children. I've never been in that type of situation before. But for me, I had the mindset like, you're not gonna hit me. Not once, not ever. The first time, it's a wrap. You're not gonna breathe again. That's my mindset. You know, I mean, I and that's why I'm just so mind-boggled at how it happens. But I understand how it happens, you know, but I just have to put myself in a class of my own because, like I said, you're not just going to hit me. If I got kids, if I got whatever, if I burn bridges, I'm going to do what I need to do because my babies don't need to see this.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to throw your personal business out there, baby, but has that ever happened to you when you did have a? Okay.
Never. I mean, and I think my personality, I guess, I don't know what it is. You know better. The men that I've dealt with know better.
Yeah.
Than to put your hands on me, or maybe it's the caliber of a man that I've chosen.
Do you just give them the look and the stare down, and then they know when to back off?
She tell them this town business.
Exactly, and then they know from my daddy that he don't play that. So you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, I definitely find it just, you know, it's always something that just really just hits, you know, to the core because, you know, I mean, I'm pro women. I mean, you know, as much as you hear about, you know, the majority of the guys that's out there and they just so vicious to the women, you know, there's a lot of men like us, you know, the people that's on this line, like Bobby Tinsley and Rich and myself and, you know, all you listeners out there that really supports, you know, women and cater to a woman's needs and stuff like that. It always hurts my soul to be able to hear or see that somebody's being abused on the physical and on the mental level. So we're going to have to make sure we curb that. So, you know, the domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 1-800-787-3224 if you want to use that one as well. And, you know, that's the number for you guys if y'all want to call. Once again, 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can call the number 1-800-787-3224, you know, and that's for everybody. And the organization that Bob's going to be donating to is www.safepassagehome.org. Make sure y'all go ahead and click on that as well, www.safepassagehome.org. And, you know, that's definitely a real informative site. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people there that can be able to help you. The domestic violence hotline is there to help you as well. And, you know, going through, you know, you know, situations like this, Bob, I mean, what's the one thing that you want the ladies out there to know about situations like this outside of you can not only be helped, but, you know, in general? What's one thing you want people to be able to take away from, you know, just getting more informed on it?
I mean, it's so hard. It's really hard to narrow it down to one thing because, I mean, you know, I guess if you have to narrow it down to one particular, you know, area, it would just be like to really see. It all starts with how you see yourself, I honestly believe. You know, I found that out from my parents at a young age. You know, the sad thing is, you know, abused people abuse people. And, you know, just because you haven't been abused physically, you know, doesn't mean that you may not, you know, be in that category because it's like, you know, most of the men, that's the sad part, that abuse women have grown up in some point in their life, have been around, seen their fathers abuse their mother or seen other people that were close to them abuse. I mean, that's like what statistics show is the people that have been abused or have been around abuse tend to abuse. So I think that, you know, like you were saying earlier, I think it's really like a big thing to like really pay attention to the warning signs and to look around you, you know, look outside of your relationship. You know, when somebody tries to isolate you from you know, the people that love you and, you know, care about you, your family, your friends, you know, there's a lot of guys that are up to no good, and they know what they're about. And it's like, you know, they will start all that nonsense where it's like, hey, you know, you don't need to be around your family. You don't need to be around this. You need to cut ties. You need to do all this stuff. And I think it's like you were saying, baby, it's like, you know, they say this and the women get trapped because they feel like, I'm going to lose him. You know, it's like they don't see their worth, and they don't see, like, wow, you know, I don't need this man to validate who I am. I don't need this man to make me be somebody that, you know, because I'm already somebody without this man. I don't need a man for that. And I think that's why, like, these songs like Miss Independent and, you know, Beyonce's song, you know, what's that one, Irreplaceable and all that stuff, it hits so home, you know, with women, because, you know, it's like anthems that women can say, you know what, like, I don't need a man to make me be somebody. But I think going a step above that is to say, like, you know, like you were saying, there is absolutely 100% no toleration for abuse. You have to have that mindset. You cannot have a mindset where it's like, well, you know, I don't know, kind of a thing. I mean, you have to have that concrete, no, I will not be abused. Like, I will not be abused. And it's like, you know, when you start seeing those warning signs, just get away as quickly as you possibly can, because, you know, the other side of it is if you don't, you know, the results could be, I mean, they could be fatal. It's horrible.
Yeah, and you
got
life. Go ahead.
I think that, you know, a lot of women that also say that, you know what I'm saying, just because you're not getting hit in your face or getting beat up physically, that don't mean you're not meant to get mentally abused.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's because I'm going to tell you like this here. You know, mental abuse is 100,000 times worse than the physical, because the physical, that go away in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Your face is back clear again. You know what I mean? But that mental abuse is going to stay with you for a long time.
That's right. It scars you, definitely.
For life.
Especially when you get to that point where, you know what I'm saying, that's all you hear. If you hear it and it's just like Bob and Bay and everybody else has been saying, it's just like, you know, when you're isolated and you're hearing all this negative crap all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to be worth this, you're not this, you're not that. You know what I'm saying? It just really, it shocks me, and it shocks me to see that, of course, dudes will stoop to that level, you know, because you already know what the problem is with the males. The males got a security problem with themselves. They don't love themselves, or they don't love what their situation around them, so they're going to go ahead and inflict pain on the person that they claim to love. So, you know, that's a problem in itself, and I think the dudes on that end needs fixing, you know what I'm saying? But on the women's end, for still staying and be a part of it, you know, that's something that I really want to, you know, see happens, because I think, you know, all these other shows that we talk about, you know what I'm saying, I want a lady that can be a boss, that can boss out her situation, that could be a take charge kind of woman where she can stand strong, not just on the outer part, not just the corporate office and what she does and how she looks on the outside, but I'm talking about somebody that loves herself on the inside. I think, to me, that's the biggest thing in the world for a woman to do, is love yourself, just like a man. Because I love myself, and I know what I have to offer. That's why you can't tell me nothing, you can't tell me nothing, and you can't tell me nothing, because I already know how I feel about myself. So that mental abuse is going, you know, no matter what you say. Because I was in a situation when, you know, when I was married and I wasn't getting, you know, the right mental satisfaction. And you're right, Rich, that shit cuts home, and it hurts. And it hurts worse than any fist, and it hurts worse than anything in the world. From somebody that you claim to love is really destroying your swag. So that's what I mean. It goes both ways on the men and on the women, but at the same time, we got to find a way where we can be able to solve this problem with these with this violence that's out there, and for the men and for the women. So, you know, it's important. If you guys got any questions, y'all make sure y'all holler at us at 347-215-8653. And I got my boy from the 212 mic'd up. A Butters in the house. Butter, what it do, fam?
What it do, Playboy?
Chilling.
Why come every time I come on, everybody laugh? What's going on? It's an ongoing thing. What's going on with Vietnam, man? Harlem World and out. Yeah, man. But nah, man, what y'all talking about is real, man. I come from that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, about every day. Like, I grew up with a mother that was getting abused by a man, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up with a father that was doing the abusing, and brothers that's in jail right now for doing the same thing. So it's like I kind of, you know, I can relate to what's going on. But
did it affect you? Did it affect you?
What? Yeah, you know what? Like y'all always play around me, call me a ladies man, but I've been around a lot of sad women before, so it's like I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to do that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm always so romantic, and you know what I'm saying all the time, because I know how I feel. Everybody needs some loving all the time.
See, and that's cool, but when you get a situation like Butter, like he said, he's been around it. His dad was like that and all that other stuff, but it turned him totally off to the point where, you know what, I can't do this. You know why I can't do this? Because I don't like to see, you know, the opposite sex and the way that we're supposed to hold down a woman, you know, be mistreated like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's key, and it's gonna have to take somebody like you, bro. Just like it's gonna have to take somebody else like that to be able to kind of like look at themselves first. But I mean, Bob, you agree too, though. You know, you have to love yourself first. You got to do that more than anything.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it all starts with your own self-worth, man. You have to know who you are before you can love somebody else right, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, that's real.
That's real. And don't forget, people, you know what I'm saying, we got that domestic violence hotline. It's 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 1-800-799-7233. And also go ahead and hit up 1-800-787-3224. And, you know, those are for numbers for anybody that's listening, people that caught up, or people that feels like they need to just go ahead and find a way to extend it. Go ahead and call that number. It's very important to do. Once again, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or call the number again, 1-800-787-3224. And go to www.safepassagehome.org. And check out that website. Definitely a lot of information for you guys to be able to touch down on. And, you know, it's important for people to be able to spread this kind of information as well and just be aware. And, you know, like I said, that's why I feel a cool vibe with the simple fact that, you know, we got women and men on the line that can be able to kind of voice their opinions on it. But, you know what I'm saying, but what is it going to take, though? I mean, you know, for, you know, we talking about all this stuff that we talking about right now, and, V, I got you mic'd up too, bro. But what is it going to take for this to either, you know, cease and desist and for this to be minimized to the point where you can be able to control that? I mean, how are we going to handle that?
It's kind of hard, though, because it's hard because you got to understand that a man don't come into a relationship when he just meet a girl and say, you know what, 3 months from now I'm going to whoop that ass. He don't do that. He come in, chime in, you know what I'm saying, say whatever he need to say to get in. You don't know what's going to happen down the road. Like, you can't stop it. But like y'all said, you know, for somebody to start, you know, to know their worth and love themselves, you know, just to have enough of that situation to be like, you know, well, I don't want to be in this, but we can't stop it, really. You can't. Because some people just can't control themselves being this way. So it's never going to stop, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop, but I think we can do a better job at looking at the warning signs because, like I said, man, I mean, these type of people have a MO, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not a secret MO that they have. They have a MO, and I feel like this. Before you get to laying down with a person, before you get to inviting the person to your house, before you get to going and spend the night with some dude's house you just met last week, you got to know a person. And I believe this 100%. Any type of person will tell you exactly what type of person they are if you ask them the right questions and you ask enough questions, which means you need to get to know a person before you get to laying down with them. Period.
It's crazy.
And it's too many of us that within the first 30 days we knocking. I mean, that's on average. You know what I'm saying? The average person fucking within the first 30 days of somebody they meet that they like. On average. That ain't enough time to know nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got to be a little bit more cautious in what we do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't just jump into relationships, oh, he cute, oh, she fine, and then expect that she wasn't a snake or he wasn't a snake next month. He was. You never asked. If you slept with somebody you don't even know their last name, that's your bad for whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you really got to start knowing people that you're dealing with. Ask them what happened with their last relationships. I guarantee you they're going to tell you something. They're going to tell you something. Ask them what they would do. Watch a TV show and say, man, what would you do in that situation? He's going to tell you. He's going to tell you. He's not going to be able to lie about everything he does. He's not going to be able to do that. But we don't ask questions. I met with girls, man, that don't even know my last name, man. Been knowing me for months. Can't tell you my last name. That's they bad.
I know girls that don't know my real name. What about that? You know what I'm saying? They don't even care to know. That's real shit, though. But, like, y'all talking about,
it's kind of hard because you know what, and I'm not vouching for nobody, but I got family members, like I mentioned before, that you know that are victims to it, and you know the ones that cause it. Sometimes, like, my brother wasn't always like that, you know what I'm saying? It was just like he found somebody that he really, like, you know, gave his heart to, and he didn't know how to handle that because he was always talking that player shit his whole life. He finally found somebody that he could give his heart to. He didn't know how to control, you know, his emotions when he thought something was going on behind his back or whatever the case was, and that's how he reacted. So, like, a lot of these guys don't be born like this. A lot of it is just they don't have a lot of self-control. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that you're born with that I know of. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like,
I think it's something that's developed. I think it's a control issue that's developed.
It is, because you know what? I'd be ready to throw girls out the window for real, like right out the window, 3rd floor and all. But you gotta be able to control yourself. It's real shit though. Ain't one guy in here can't even say that they ain't feel like punching the girl head off at least one time because they get so mad. But
I used to disagree with my ex-wife so much. I used to fucking prank. Cause I was in the military. I used to tell her this. I used to be like, man, you know what? I can't wait till I get out. The first time you say anything out of line to me, I'm gonna fuck you up, and I'm gonna gladly go to jail for that weekend. I'm looking forward to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she was pissing me off at this level. And then that's what made me go, man. And when we were arguing, my daughter would look at me and go, Dad, stop.
Yeah.
That's what made me go, I don't need to be around this female. This female brings the worst out of me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, that was me controlling that, but it took my daughter to go, Dad, stop. Stop, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Because I was I'm yelling, I'm at the top of my lungs like, man, fuck you. And it's just getting out of hand. You know what I'm saying? My daughter stopped me. That's when I knew it can't go down like this. But you'll get women, you know what I'm saying? It's not an excuse, but you'll get people that'll fuck with your buttons to that level. You know what I'm saying? And these type of people you don't need to deal with.
Bob, when you get to a point, and this one's for Bob, when you get to a point, it's just kind of like what V said. When you have situations like that, you know, and you do have children, you know what I'm saying? You know, just from what you've either, you know, heard or experienced or seen or whatever, I mean, you know, how crucial is that going to play into the whole development in a child? Because, you know, my whole thing is if you have children, you're supposed to, when you have a child, they're supposed to be the best part of you. So if you're going to go ahead and fall in, you know what I'm saying, and go into the same old sad little situation, you're just teaching them just like that. But, I mean, have you ran into any situations where it was similar to what V was talking about?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, one real personal situation that I was telling y'all I wanted to talk about earlier involved, you know, some really close family friends that I grew up with. I sang at these, you know, my mom's best friend, basically. I sang at her wedding. You know, I wrote a song for her and her husband, and you know, long story short, they went through a lot of tough times. They ended up splitting up, and during this like break, you know, she had two children. And they were young. They were like, you know, 8 and 10 at the time. And, you know, she ended up getting involved with this guy that here goes the warning signs again, from day one, everybody around her knew that this guy was not anything good for her. And, you know, she had went through so much trouble with her ex-husband, and she was just emotionally not sure of herself. And she was just basically breaking it down. She was just looking for love. Like, she just needed love. And she was looking anywhere for it. And here comes, you know, Mr. Suave rolling through the door, and you know, he was younger than her, and he was an attractive dude, and you know, she's thinking, hey, you know, what's this young guy really want to do with me? You know, she's feeling good. You know, hey, I'm older, but you know, he's really feeling on me and stuff. And you know, her kids didn't even know what to make out of that whole relationship dynamic. But you know, this guy started putting his hands on her. And, you know, this is my people. This is like our family. And, you know, everybody is screaming at the top of our lungs as best as we can say, you know, you have to get away from this guy, not just for your life, but for your children's life. And, you know, she had the guy over at the house, and, you know, there were situations where the kids were around and just all that crazy stuff. And, you know, I wish I didn't have to tell this story right now, but moral of the story, long story short, this guy ended up, after a bunch of warning signs, after a bunch of abuse, a bunch of everything else, he ended up murdering her. He stabbed her 40 times in the stomach.
Oh.
And it was a major thing in our whole entire area over here in Florida. They found her car. My mother got a phone call one morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I was up. I was back at home at the time, and, I was up, and my mom, I hear her falling down in the kitchen on the phone, and she was crying her eyes out, and I just ran up to her, and I knew that it was my mom's friend. And because, she hadn't heard from her in 2 nights, and her kids were alone, and the police were there being called in, and I knew at that point what had happened. And so, that in that instant, that impacted me so much to really, really just spread the word about domestic violence and about this situation, because this stuff has to stop. But, it really starts and stops with us. It starts when you are in a situation where you see what's going on, when you see your kids are being put in a dangerous situation, you got to bounce. And, I can respect what you're saying, man, as far as, it took your daughter. I mean, everybody's been in a situation where somebody makes them so mad, you just start thinking, man, if you don't get out of my face, everybody's been there. But the thing is if you are not the type of person where you cannot look at the people around you, whether it's your daughter, whether it's your whatever, and say, you know what, I can't go down this road because I have a life and I have people that depend on me. If you can't do that and you have to, resort to going above and beyond, I mean, you have to see that person that you're with is doing that and say, okay, I have to get away from them. And so that's my thing that I've just been, trying to preach to the girls and the women in my life. I've just been saying, look, some dudes are going to be able to recognize that, and they're going to be able to, walk away. But other guys, they got something off in their head, and they can't process it. And when you are with a guy like that, you can't give him another chance. You can't give him another chance, because I've seen what happens when you give that person another chance, and she's buried right now. So that's real talk. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because that day I lost one of the closest people in my life. So it's rough, man.
Wow. And I think everybody at the end of the day, I mean, especially when people like this, because I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can share a tear over that, because that's just an innocent another life taken because of somebody else's insecurities and all that other stuff, and that's.
Well, here's the thing, Brandon. I got to interject, man, because the deepness of the situation is, she was pregnant at the time, so a baby's life was killed too. That's why she was stabbed 40 times in the stomach. And the thing about it is, her 2 children, and the child that she had with her husband were separated at the time. The 3 of their lives have been completely changed. I mean, you're talking about, that's the thing that people don't realize, that your decisions that you make don't just affect your life. They affect everybody else's life around you. And it's like, now her kids got ripped up out from a family structure from the mother that would bleed and die for them to support them. They got ripped up out of that, got thrown off into 3 different directions, don't see each other anymore, have been through so much. And, I'm proud to say, I know, that they're doing really well, to this day. They've really, despite the odds, they've really, really done some amazing things. But it's like, a lot of kids, man, they get put in these situations that are so unnecessary, and, they end up going into the system, and they end up abusing other people. And then, that's the same kid that's beating somebody over the head in a subway with a gun, telling, give me my money, because, they're put in these situations. So we got to do a better job as parents and as role models and people to stop it before it goes into affecting all these other people. You have to stop the rotation of violence. You got to stop it. It's crazy.
National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 1-800-799-7233, or go ahead and hit up 1-800-787-3224. That's the number for people if y'all need any kind of help whatsoever. And if you're on the website, you need to go to www.safepassageroom.org. Once again, that is the organization Bob's going to be donating to, and the way I see it is pretty simple, and and a lot of it I kind of think goes back to failed marriages. I mean, when you have a national rate of about 47.6% of divorce, marriages that ends in divorce, that's a problem. That's a problem.
You know what the problem is with that is people fall in love for all the wrong reasons, man. They fall in love for shit that's fantasy, man. You know what I'm saying? A marriage is a very tough partnership, man. And people don't understand that. They feel like it's looks and, you know what I'm saying, is money and all these things that come and go. You know what I'm saying? You can marry a girl that's fine as hell right now. She might not be that fine at 42. You know what I'm saying? You can marry somebody right now that's doing really well financially, lose his job. He broke. He back to square one, starting all over and shit. You know what I'm saying? So if those are the things that you marrying for, those are the things you fall in love with a person for, those things come and go. A person's character never comes and goes. Now, they can improve their character. They can actually have a worse character. But if you're the right person, you balance them. And when it's going bad, you keep them on that right level, you know what I'm saying, for them to maintain their character. Because that's what turns people out. Tragedy will turn a person's whole mind state around. But if you got good people around you, they balance you going, you know what, that was a tragedy, but we're going to make the best of it, man. There's a lot of things that go on in people's lives, and they choose to either make it good or they make it bad. If you got a person that, you know what I'm saying, if you got family members, like A Butter saying, you know what I'm saying, he had to deal with that, so he chose not to go down that route. Good. But there's a whole lot of people that go, well, fuck it, I'm going to do the same thing because it works for them, because they saw that, you know, they can control a woman that way. You know what I'm saying? But they don't see that, you know what I'm saying, it can get out of hand and somebody could die. It can get out of hand and your ass sitting in prison for a while. It can get out of hand and you might not go to prison. You might not have killed nobody, but get a DV on your record and think about getting a job. It's hard as a motherfucker. You might as well have a drug charge. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of consequences coming to fucking with people that don't need to be in your circle. Man, I do not, under no circumstances, fuck with my ex-wife. She is bad for me to be around. She puts my level way up there past 10. So I don't fuck with her on no period. You know what I'm saying? When we deal with my daughter, it's through my daughter. I don't have to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? And so when you got to understand there's certain people in your life that you can't fuck with. They just poisonous to your whole being. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's sad to say that, but it is what it is. And a lot of us cannot control that because we got this mentality. We got to feel like we got this extra pride that I can't let that go out. I can't go out like that. I can't have her make a fool out of me by sleeping with somebody else or not liking me the way I should. Why don't she like me like this? We got too much pride, man, and too much ego, and that's what fuels that. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things we say, and there's a lot of things that people do that encourages that. You know what I'm saying? I hear 7 out of 10 women say, well, I want a thug. Really? Define thug, and you tell me why in the hell would you want that? And you tell me that you would introduce your daughter to a thug. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? But this is what we hear. So this is what guys try to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of it that goes to this. A lot goes to the whole pimp thing, the whole domestic violence thing, the whole mistreating of a human being thing, because we teach it. We teach it to each other all the time. Somebody say something to you, oh, man, I don't play that. I'll bust you in your mouth. We teach it. So when it happens and when it gets out of hand, oh, you shouldn't have went that far. You should have knew better than go that far. Really? Did you teach that? Did you teach that part of that? You didn't. So we got to really do more about what we're doing and what we're saying around our kids.
That's true.
Because that's what it's coming from us most of the time.
And we're almost at the top of the hour on this Tuesday, Ladies Night with Bobby Tinsley on Vintage Music Radio. And I also have a caller calling from the 770. You on the line tonight with Bobby Tinsley and the rest of the staff right here on VMR. What's good?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Brian from Atlanta. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Ain't not much, man. Good. Pleasure talking to y'all. You know, I just kind of called on the conversation. I'm dialing in because I ain't in my PC tonight. But, you know, it's interesting with the point I just heard because some years ago I talked to this one lady when I was in the military, the college girl, worked at the college around for me. And she told me that she wanted a thug, but she wanted a nice thug. She wanted somebody that had the mentality of a thug. Yeah, I'm laughing at it, too. You know what I'm saying? How can you understand that crap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want a nice rapist. I want a nice robber. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What is that?
What, he going to sit down and have dinner with you?
Exactly.
He rob you?
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It's impossible. You know, it's impossible. You can't have it both ways. If you're going to date a thug, don't get mad when he beats your ass down the corner. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work.
Hey, call it Brian, but you know what though? Like V said, you know what I'm saying? Our society that we live in now is this is being taught. You know what I'm saying? The women is even learning. Hey, I want a thug. And that really struck me. I'm like, really? You really want a thug? And what that details? Because a thug, man, is somebody that don't give a fuck and will bust you upside your head. You know, if he had to.
Exactly. And then they sit there and wonder why they got hit. Why did he hit me? Why did he beat me? You know, and then the thing that really gets under my skin is you leave one thug, and then you find another man just like the man you left. And they think it's because it's a different body that somebody's going to treat her differently. Then, you know, if you date that type of brother or whatever, you're going to end up having the same results. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you can pick whatever pizza restaurant you want to eat at all day long, man. You still going to get fat. It could be Pizza Hut. It could be Domino's. It don't matter. You're going to get fat if you just keep eating it.
Hey,
metabolism.
I'm going to tell you like this, man, and this is what, you know, way I was taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, relationship is like the human body. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got involuntary muscles inside the body that works whether you know it or not. You know what I mean? Because if you have to tell your heart to beat, everybody on this panel be dead to the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's how relationships is. You know what I'm saying? You got to know you got to already know. And a lot of times, you know, us as males, we come home, ain't no food cooked. We ready to bust somebody upside the head. Because we been working all day, you know what I'm saying, and this and that. And the female, too. She been working all day. She come home, he at home playing PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Right. She ready to knock him upside the head with a brick. Because in a relationship, you have to relate. And you have got to be able to work like the human body. You know what I'm saying? The body is mysterious, and it works. Everything works, and it knows what to do and when to do. You know what I mean? And that's how relationships is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, see, I think a lot of it goes back to compromise too. I think if you do have a situation like Rich was talking about, where the man comes home and you know the man get heated because he ain't had nothing cooked. I mean, you as a man, you may not know what have went on in that woman's day with the kids or whatever that made her not have that on time. Or if you are the man and you at home sitting around playing PlayStation and a woman comes home and, you know, the laundry's not done, the house looks a mess and all that other stuff, that's another thing that's going to set an argument off. So what happens? There's no communication. Nobody's saying, hey, you know what, baby, when I get home, if I get home before you, I'm going to go ahead and get dinner started and get this stuff 100%, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of it breaks down. That's where a lot of it starts, with little petty stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think as a people, you know what I'm saying, we can't put the full blame on a woman though. You know what I'm saying? I think it has to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to make
it's on both.
Yourself. You say you have to look at. Oh yeah, you're right. You have to look at yourself as a man, and as a man, you have to look and see. Okay, well, what's your strength? You know what I'm saying? First off, I'm gonna keep saying it. You got to go back and make sure you love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, because if you keep saying that you love a woman and you inflict all kinds of pain on a woman, then that means you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Because if you did, then that means you will be comfortable with yourself to be able to let that woman know verbally why you're not happy and what's needed to be able to make you guys a unit. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people they so self-absorbed and they get so caught up in themselves, they get blinded by the fact, even though they keep claiming that they love that woman. I love you, girl, but I'm gonna still beat your ass because this is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even fair. That's not fair to the woman because, you know, the woman's thinking that, you know what I'm saying, this man do love me and woo 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 woo, and you know what I'm saying, and then he goes around and does what he does. But I'm putting that out there because I just feel like at the end of the day, you know, it's going to have to be that strong man that's going to be able to hold that woman down so that woman can be able to have self-confidence, not in herself, but also in the relationship. Because if you're dealing with a woman, you hope, knock on wood, that woman already loves herself. You know what I'm saying? Because if that woman don't love herself, then you dealing with damaged goods. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's real. And to me, if you this is heartbreak proof, man. When you really love yourself, man, I tell any female that I've ever dated, man, you couldn't hurt me because it is not possible for me to love you the way I love me. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So anything you do that I don't like, I refuse to allow you to fucking make my life shitty because of shit you do. And I refuse to do it. And to me, that's how you make your life heartbreak proof, man. I can deal with any woman dealing with any shit she do. I know what she doing. I accept it. Just keep it 100 with me, and I'll choose to deal with what you deal with or not deal with it. It's when you play games and you're lying to me is when you piss me off. You know what I'm saying? But, man, if I decide to deal with a woman that's dealing with 5 dudes, you know what I'm saying? If that's what I feel like doing, that's what I feel like doing. You know what I'm saying? But it's when you feel like you ain't worth having this person. It ain't a motherfucker that God made that's female that I think that ain't worth me. Period. He ain't gonna create one that I feel like that I ain't worthy of this chick. And so that's the reason why I'm hurt proof. I ain't been hurt before, but I knew why, because I felt like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Why she ain't like me like that? And I refuse to sell myself short ever again. You know what I'm saying? I love me more than any human being is possible to love me 100 times.
Right, I agree with that.
Definitely.
Go ahead, V.
No, I'm just saying. I felt compelled to say something because that right there, that just really hit. You know, I mean, it's all about loving self, man. You have to love yourself more than anybody else. Because if you don't,
man, I got a bunch of stories to tell, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, I had a female that I was dating. We get into an argument. She was like, "Well, you ain't gonna hit me, is you?" Damn. Is you really that used to it? Is you like the puppy that every time you raise your hand, they flinching and shit? Damn. I mean, I had another female that I'm dating. I knew she was dating somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But, man, she come over, man. I'm talking about bruised head to toe. And she talking to me candid like, yeah, he was tripping today. Yeah, he slammed me harder than he usually do. What? What? Because she fucking with me. Because she fucking with me. She don't care. I'm going to go ahead and be here with you tonight. I know I went to the club with his sister. I know I ain't going home with his sister. I know I live with this dude. I know when you drop me off tonight, he going to fuck me up. I'm cool with that. You got to be kidding me. I'm looking at this girl, and I'm a young dummy at the time. Like, nah, I ain't giving a fuck. I ain't giving a fuck about the dangers I'm putting this chick in because I'm young trying to get me some. And I'm sitting there going, damn, I would have been heartbroken, man, if I'd have fucking sent this broad home one night and this dude killed her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, wow, she's saying this candidly, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, taking off her clothes, like, yeah, today he slammed me harder than usual. What the hell?
Yeah, see, that's wild right there. And I'm going to go ahead and break this up and go ahead and do a debut from Bobby Tinsley. You know, it's only heard on VMR, so, you know what I'm saying, we get exclusive music here as well. And if you listeners that's still on, because, you know, I got Mr. Incense, he's going to be mic'd up as soon as I'm done with the song. And we got another caller stand by as well. The number is 347-215-8653 for you people. And it says Tuesday night with Bobby Tinsley. And we got Big Rich, of course. We got Bay 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 from Real Chance of Love. VH1 is in the house, you know what I'm saying? And I got a couple of questions as far as emails from for the ladies, Natalia and Bay Bay.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.